Impressive, the first images that appear after this earthquake. A quake that at first was initially reported as 8.2, a powerful earthquake. In the end, the latest information is that it was a 7.6 magnitude earthquake, according to what is known at this moment. This earthquake, this quake that would have affected the Philippines, was also reportedly felt in Malaysia and other countries in the area. Let's go into the details of what is known so far. Look, according to reports, a tsunami warning was issued at the time, a warning that now appears to have been dismissed, but the event had its epicenter in Mindanao. This was in the southern part of the archipelago, where according to the United States Geological Surveys, a significant movement was detected. Landslides are said to have occurred in some places, and they confirmed that the levels of liquefaction were significant. It was felt across a wide area, with at least 3 countries reportedly detecting the earthquake, mainly of course in the Philippines. Today right now we'll get into the details, but there is already talk of material damage and also of some aftershocks. Yes, let's see what the depth of this earthquake was. But at least for now we know of 4 aftershocks. And if we zoom in, we can see the 4 aftershocks there. The first one is the 7.8, which is that one, 55 kilometers deep. Then after that, a 6.1, a 6.0, and a 4.8. By the way, we had already mentioned that it had been quite a seismic day with an earthquake in Greece that, by the way, caused... There was also another earthquake of 6.0, 6.1 around Kamchatka in Russia. So it's been very seismically active, and we were just talking about how, I mean, of course, earthquakes are normal and all that, but sometimes there are moments when there's a lot of activity, not so much By the way, today has been quite seismic, right? In that sense, well, there have already been several surprises, haven't there? Well, not just today, but also yesterday and today, right? According to the earthquake report, it happened today. Well, for them over there, it's already the 8th. The shaking was huge. The magnitude was that big. It was reported as 7.6 or 7.2. It also depends on the report you look at. But at first, well, like I said, the preliminary information was much harsher. The German Research Center also released its own report, and they stated that the depth they detected was not 55 kilometers. As the USGS says, the German Research Center, the chief there, Chief Z, reports that the depth was 10 kilometers. And this is what he said: the tsunami potential alert to the phenomenon. That's why at least they said that the probability of a tsunami was an important possibility. Now, for the moment, that's already been ruled out, right? So far, that hasn't... Apparently it hasn't happened, has it? Anyway, we will keep reporting different versions. But the United States Geological Survey has already finalized it at 7.8, right? In their latest analysis. The key aspect of this phenomenon is not just its magnitude, but the immediate reaction, right? Look, I've also just received information that it was also felt in Indonesia, Palau, Taiwan, and Papua New Guinea. Just imagine that. I mean, and besides Malaysia, which we already mentioned. So that's quite a few countries. Look, if we zoom out, I want you to see the distance to Taiwan, just so we can see the difference in the area. Honestly, I really doubt it. It just seems to me too much. But well, here it says they felt it in Taiwan. We're talking about more than 1,000 kilometers of distance from this area to this area. Yes? So? Well, that's the report we have at the moment. At least, it is part of the Ring of Fire. It's part of the phenomena. How have you been, Margarita? Thank you very much for joining us, and also Susana and everyone in the community who's arriving. Leave your comments, and well, yes, if there's anyone in the Hispanic community watching us from the Philippines, I appreciate your comment and would like to know how everything is going over there. Among the areas under surveillance are Sarangani, Davao Occidental, Tawi, Zulo Basilan, Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga Sipsugay, Sultan Kudarat, and South Cotabato. Those are the areas that are currently on alert. With the potential for this to generate an aftershock, obviously there's a risk. So we have to stay alert for whatever may come. After all, it's an area that's within the Ring of Fire, which has already experienced tsunamis at other times that we've reported here. And obviously significant earthquakes as well, right? It's already a very newsworthy day with the situation in Iran, with what's happening over there in Israel, throughout the Middle East. But in the end, today, well, we really have to talk about everything. There was a bit of everything today. I don't even know how many broadcasts we've done today. Sunday, but like I said, for us, Sunday is a very busy day. Not completely, because there is a lot of information. And usually in a little while, they're going to also about the probability of a tsunami, because there were buoys that had shown movement, but apparently they're not consistent with a tsunami, right? So they're checking. We'll likely give another report and we'll discuss it here. Yayan. Yes, just remember that the Americans have greatly reduced investment in the buoys they have over there in the United States. And sometimes they fail. But look, just now they said there was nothing. And now they're saying there is. They're changing their story. And now they're saying there is. So it's really, really strange. But they're saying there is a tsunami alert right now. But then, on the official US seismological website, there's nothing. But if you go directly to the NOAA website, you'll be able to see this. Look, there it is. The tsunami alert is active right now. So be careful with that, because there is a tsunami alert at this moment. There is an alert, I repeat. So if you're seeing this, just know that there is an alert. It's still in effect. The alert remains active at this very moment. Well, the latest report is what counts, at least with these kinds of phenomena, right? What is it, or what should we expect? Well, let's get into the details of that situation, right? First of all, look, here is some of the information already, right? At what time did it happen, and what was this tsunami like? Apparently, the tsunami still reached them. No, it's not confirmed that it's actually going to happen, but there is an alert. I don't see that yet. Let's see if it shows up later. Here is the information. It could be. Look, here is the purple area that you are seeing on the screen. Yes, what you see on the map are waves of 1 to 3 meters, right? Be careful with that. That's no small thing. 0.1 to 1 meter. Sorry, from 1.1 to 1 meter. Let's see, it says here and from 1 to 3 meters. I don't know if it's here. Look, here it is. I'm underlining it right up here. That's for the Philippines, right? For the Philippines, it's from 1 to 3 meters. That's no small thing. The one for Malaysia is a little less severe. Even so, we'll have to keep an eye on that, because it can be somewhat risky. But Malaysia is reporting a possible tsunami of 30 centimeters to 1 meter. It's very mild and calm. So there's a less severe tsunami alert, right? The most important one is in the Philippines, which is still active, as we can see, with waves of 1 to 3 meters, according to the reports. So towards Mindanao and the area near where the earthquake happened is where there's a possibility of a tsunami. So the tsunami is still active on the 7th for us here in Mexico, not June 7th at 7 p.m. If you're not watching right now, well, the tsunami alert is active. So, well, stay alert about that too. We didn't start the live stream without the alert showing up. Not usually. When it doesn't show up, it means they've already removed it. But right now, it's active. We just saw it, right? So, well, let's wait for more information. No. The last post they made for us for our neighborhood in Mexico was at 6:32 p.m. our time. So, we're seeing it here, right? So it was about, what? Half an hour, 40 minutes ago, when the alert came out for 1 to 3 meters. This, it could be in about 1 to 3 hours from when this alert is given. And maybe for Malaysia, it would take a little longer. But anyway, there's the alert. Yes, it's likely that a tsunami could come. So stay alert as well, right? The vessels that are out at sea, they are advised to remain in deep waters until further notice, since the behavior of the ocean over the next few hours will be monitored for possible movements. The Philippines, located in the Ring of Fire, is one of the areas with the highest seismic and volcanic activity on the planet. A significant number of plate collisions occur there. Experts note that when earthquakes approach magnitude 8 or just below, certain effects occur. It can cause a massive displacement of water, which can lead to a regional tsunami, right? At the moment, there are no confirmed reports of victims or catastrophic damage. That's not the case. I don't know. That's the information we have for now. And later on, we'll be giving you more details as we learn more, okay? The Pacific Center is also keeping an eye on any significant movement to provide a complete seismic and tsunami assessment. No, just in case there are any details that change based on what we're discussing. This is part of what the United States Geological Survey says, and the German Center for Geophysical Research, which is also providing some of these details, right? So, yes, as I said, this whole situation is active, right? That's the chronology, and that's how things are going up to this moment. Let's go to some comments. I'll be very happy to greet you this weekend. Raul, how have you been? Susanna, a big hello to you as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Panterita. How have you been? How many times have we met here with everyone today? It's been a busy day, I insist. And, well, we went out for a bit. We just went to the movies and we were already on our way back. We were almost arriving with how things were. And, well, the movement was already happening, right? It was already going on. We were about to report it from outside, but we said, no, better to use the maps here at home. And then we broadcasted ourselves. Well, we're connected now. Great. So, Rafael, how have you been? Greetings, Panterita. Cheers, Refugio. How have you been? Full sacks to the community who also watches us via Twitter, who watches us via Facebook. Well, he stayed. He connects with us from there. Thank you very much. We know there are people from the community who also come from there. And, well, we really appreciate it, right? That you support us here, right? And that you're now part of the whole crew, right? Thanks to everyone in our growing community. We'll be back soon, right? Lucia, how have you been? Good evening. It's been a busy day, hasn't it? I'll be back later with Astrid to check out all the details, right? About how things are going around the world, right? There's been a bit of everything. It's been a busy day, hasn't it? Great. Have an excellent one. Afternoon, we're still checking to see if it's been confirmed yet. Right now, there's an alert, but if it's confirmed, of course, we'll reconnect. But I think we're almost about to connect Estri to Estrillo. So later on, we'll make some coffee and have a chat here, right? A big greeting. Have an excellent weekend. We'll keep updating the information here. See you later.